In the fall of 2004, I began taking photographs in the hotel rooms of Vancouver's downtown east side, beginning with the Cobalt Hotel on Main Street and moving on to other hotels on Hastings, including the Balmoral, the Regent, the Sunrise, the Lux, and the Roosevelt. I wanted to look inside the windows of these softly lit rooms and put aside for a moment notions of illness and poverty and discover what was really there. As I entered each of these rooms and sat down beside another human being and began speaking as one person to another, relationships and perceptions began to change. The anxiety of the outside world disappeared, and the need to deceive went away. I came to cherish these moments I spent sitting quietly beside someone on a corner of a mattress that sagged and moved at the slightest touch. On the walls of these dimly lit spaces, I discovered pictures of families, children and lost husbands and lost wives. The rooms were quiet, and the camera became invisible. As my heart filled with memory, and as the words we spoke became softer, I knew I had become more than a guest. I had become a listener and a friend. June the 3rd, 2004. At the beginning of June, as people began hiding from each other, the physicians of death play with the dope to make it stronger. After Welfare Day, towards the end of the month, they water it down, sucking up every bit of money left behind, sometimes cleaning people out within a few hours. Men and women begin yelling and arguing behind the doors of their rooms. A hit of crack will never last for more than a few minutes. Yet the addict, consulting an invisible mirror, is convinced that the relief from pain will never end. August the 23rd, 2004. The cobalt keeps breathing as the mice between the walls move from room to room, and all the human lungs on the fourth floor begin to breathe, some waking for the first time that night. At times it pays to hide your head underneath the blanket as the night approaches, for fear of your door being smashed open by an axe, or by a runner who thinks he left a rock of crack in your room by mistake. In the basement, the punkers don't realize that 4 floors above them, for most of the evening and into the final darkness of morning, there is a breathing organism moving between moments of elation and fear, between euphoria and death. The funeral of Darren Wilson. There are ways to die at midnight, with few people knowing, except the crackheads and lonely women who wept when they kissed my unadorned hands. I'm not sure if they came to touch my body out of habit, or if the smell of ether brought them in from the rain, to the back of the Sally Ann, where they would be food at midnight, as I lay between tables in the dining room, unable to feel the dampness of her hair, or look inside my suitcase for a sheet of linen to hide the watches I kept together in a pile, afraid they would be lost under mounds of clothes, in the same place where I first began looking, felt the warmth of a second body in a winter sweater, shedding parts of himself like an insect, trying to make his way back home.